knowing that you had to do 10 years, how did you get through tuning out in prison?
When I walked out the courtroom, I went and they put me in the cell. I just looked. I just looked around like, damn. And I bent down and I put my hands on my head and I was like, fuck, I fucked up. And I looked around for a minute, and when they came and got me, I was ready to go. Went back to the county jail, did 20 days, and then they shipped me to prison. And I remember driving into the gates, and I was like, bro, this is my life for 10 years. This is my life. And I was like, I didn't question. I didn't never question like, how am I gonna do it? I ain't never say, oh, I'm gonna fuck up, or I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. So when I walked in, it was just like, all right. I was a little nervous, like, cause all of the how TV portrayed the prisons to be. So I was a little nervous, but I was ready for war. I've been at war all my life. I'm ready for war. So going into prison, it was like, all right. So first day I was in confinement because I was YO status and they didn't have placement for me. So I went to confinement. When I got out, they put me in GPYO status, Youth Offender, the EDP program, Extended Day Program. And my first experience, the second day in prison, I got jumped by 15 people. Because, okay, when I got there, mind you, it was somebody that I knew prior in county, and we was vibing, and she went to prison. She's like, I'm gonna have everything set for you. So now, mind you, the struggle is real in the YO program, and it's different. Like you have to struggle for a bar of soap. You have to struggle for everything. And if you don't have family support or don't have anyone in your corner, you gonna fight for it. You got to, cause how you gonna beat your ass? So, the girl had everything. She had cigarettes for me. She had deodorants, clothes, uniforms, shoes, everything that a YO does not get on his own. And they wanted my deodorant, a Degree deodorant. And I was like, nah, man, you got me, no. They was like, well, sell it to me. No, it's mine, no. All right, well, we're gonna take it. Well, try it. That was my first reaction. And then that Saturday morning, I got to prison on a Thursday. That Saturday morning, I was up and they was like, what's up? My bed was in the back, like in the corner. And I got up and I came back to my bed. When I came back to my bed, it was like 4 people over there and they was sliding the bunks to the side. That's where you fight, you slide the bunks. And I stood up and I was like, well, who finna fight back here? And he was like, man, you either gonna give us that deodorant or you gonna have to fight all of us. And I was like, man, I went to walk off. And my friend, my homeboy at the time, which was Santiago, was like, bro, if y'all gonna fight, y'all gonna have to fight me too. So they hit him. A stud named Buki. They squared off. They started fighting. Well, Buki's twin, Mookie, jumped in. And when Mookie jumped in, I kind of like pulled him back and I was like, bro, it's supposed to be a one-on-one. Well, Buki needs Santiago so bad in the face. And Mookie just jumped in. And when I went to intervene, they swarmed me. Like, they swarmed me. But it was like one person out of all of them that I just had my eyes on and I knew they was fighting. And like through the whole crowd and everything that was going on, I had my eyes on this one girl. And when she started hitting me, it was like I hit her back. Like we was going blow for blow and I was taking hits from the left, from the right. It was just crazy. So they called one shot. They said one shot, everybody scattered. I laid down in the bed like wasn't nothing going on. I laid there and they was like, Rec open. So went outside. Mind you, 15 people jumped on me and only had 3 knots on my head. That was it. They had boots, locks, all type of shit. And I moved forward. I still had my deodorant and they still had me fought on every corner. They just did.
So, I'm hearing this story about your deodorant and I'm just like wondering how was the source of income? Like how did you make money while you was in prison?
I mean, I didn't have to make money. I had my family. Between my auntie Tamani, my grandmother Haiba, and my auntie Kelly, they never missed a month. They never. I'm very, very blessed. They never missed a month. Like, I always had money. My name was always being called for mail, always. But what was crazy was, I had this relationship with my dad's side of the family through him, and I didn't hear from them at all. But that's what later note.
So how did the guards treat you that day, or besides that day, but in general, how did the guards treat you?
Well, when I was in the YO program, when I first got to prison, I had a problem with Sergeant Sumler, and one day I had got out of confinement, and this is my first encounter with officers. You know, I'm always respectful, but this is my first encounter, and he called me out, got on the intercom, and he was like, "Inmate Jabali, bring your puss ass to the back. Bring your puss ass to the laundry station with your bitch ass. I'm finna beat your ass." And I was like, they living this life for real? What's going on? They was like, he for real. And I was like, well, what I did to him? He was like, he just don't like you. So he's on the intercom. Everybody in different on both sides can hear him. So he was like, man, strap your boots up and bring your ass to the back. So I came, and as I'm walking up through the bathroom to the laundry closet, which was connected to their bubble station, he was taking his belt off. So I'm like, well, what the fuck going on? So I went back there, and he got in my face. He closed both of the doors. No one could see in the back in the laundry rooms. So at that time, there was no camera. So he was like, what's up with all that? What's up with all that shit you talking? And I was like, you got me mistaken, bruh. And he was like, no, I know who you is, and I know what you got, and I don't like you. And I was like, well, what you want me to do? And he was like, well, what's up? And he pushed me. And I was like, you're an officer. He was like, I ain't got no fucking badge on. Do what you gotta do. What's up? And he threw his setup. So I hesitated and threw my setup. Looked around. Two other officers was in the bubble, and they was looking at me, and they was like, fuck it. So he swung at me. When he swung at me, I backed up, and he charged at me, and I hit him. And once I felt comfortable, and he didn't really go crazy when I hit him, I fought him. And we had a good little fight. It was a grown man. He banged my head up so many times. I think I got like permanent lumps in my head, because it was lockers in the cubby holes, and they were metal, and I kept hitting my head on it. So after that fight, I didn't have any altercations with the officers, but being in prison around these people, it was a headache. It was always a headache. I mean, it's one thing to instill respect or stability or whatever the case they want to call it, and it's following the rules. But when you go outside of that and you take it outside of a professional level, it becomes harassment. It becomes aggravating as fuck. Like, they were so, okay, you got a certain set of rules. You wake up, lights come on at 5 o'clock, your bed got to be made by 6:30. Be ready for work call, inspection ready. Lights go out at, like, you got 12 o'clock count, you got 4 o'clock count, you got master roster count, then you have informal counts from 11 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, you have informal, but 11 o'clock lights out, so you ain't even up no more. But in between time, you got to deal with the people on the compound. You got sergeants that run the compound, and they talk to you any kind of way. We bitches one day, we dirty motherfuckers another day, we stupid bitches. It's just so vulgar, and it's so, they didn't care, especially in the beginning. But I feel like in the beginning of my prison time was when I had the most fun, because back then officer cuss you out, you cuss their ass back out, y'all keep it moving. It was never how it is now. Now it's just getting worse, and it's like after the years progressed, I got tired of the YO program, so I went CM, and which CM is closed management. Is basically when you have excessive DRs. I had excessive fighting DRs because the fighting didn't stop when I fought all those people. It just continued. It was just an ongoing thing. It was every day there's a fight in the YO program, period, every day. So, everything was repetitive. Everything was repetitive. So I went see him, and I did closed management is where you're locked behind the door for 6 hours. Well, 24 hours a day. You come out for 1 hour on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. You get 4 hours in the day room throughout the week. You get 20 hours if you're on level 3, and it varies with the levels. Well, I was on level 3, so I did 20 hours a week, and 3 hours a day outside. But other than that, you were locked in a cell for the whole time. And the period is 6 months and plus. Or you can get out at your 6-month mark if you behave, or you can remain, or you can stay in there. Some people stay back there for years. Like I knew someone that stayed back there for 4 years. I knew somebody that stayed back there for 8 years.